My name is Logan Dudding, local musician. I operate on the lower west side of Butte, where other local musicians keep their eyes out for loose women and acoustic musicians keep on getting arrested. The story you're about to hear is true, only the facts have been altered to make it sound better. If I hadn't been in my studio that night, my brain cells playing hide and seek with the busy flashers on the screen, I'd never gotten messed up with the creation Enchantress.
Never hired a musician before. What are your rates?
The dame's voice hid an octave usually reserved for calling dogs, but the sound of greenbacks slapping across my palm was music to my ears any day. After all, I'm not an opera critic, I'm a local musician, and there was something about her name I found enchanting, as much as the traffic will bear it.
When can you start?
I've already started. Well, this looked like something to rub your palms about. She gave me the address of a joint to further discuss her project, but she had other intentions. I'll always wonder what strange fate brought me out of the studio and into a joint that had stood alone in the shadows. As we further discussed her project, each had the same ending, murder in the creative degree. Every instinct warned me to be aware that something more dangerous than I've ever known was in that glass. And then suddenly, she was a tall, long-legged redhead with blonde hair that hung down sort of like what Paul Rogers had in mind when he wrote Feel Like Making Love. She wore a dress so tight it looked as though she'd been poured into it and forgotten to say when. The way she moved seemed to undulate under her clothes and took a man's mind off the state of the world. It's a funny thing. I always follow through on a gig, even if it pays dividends in spirits and liquor. I didn't see what she put in my drink. I didn't have to. The first thing I knew, I was heaped over the bar like a sack of bones ready for the scrap heap. My throat was dry, my hands were like a bunch of bananas, and I couldn't stand on my 8.5s. As I stumbled back into the studio, I'd soon discover that she'd robbed me of my creative imagination and the reason that she had drugged me. Okay, I said to myself, you're a tough guy. Let's see you get out of this straitjacket, for the only clue left behind was another alias.